Next, we're going to look at some original strength rocking for scapula health. And I recommend, if you haven't checked out Tim Anderson's Original Strength, it's a fantastic resource for much more than just shoulder health and recovery. It's recommended by Dan John, and anything Dan John recommends, you know it's good. We're going to start with the scapular rock. Sung Hee's going to be on her knees and forearms, and she's going to be on the blade of her forearm here. Gotta come forward a bit. And she's going to rock forward and back. This is a nice, gentle movement. There should be no strain. What she's trying to feel is the glide of the scapula. A lot of times, places like the subscapularis, the connective tissue there, can get all scarred up, and there's adhesions. It's hard to get at. RMTs can't reach it. It's hard to treat. This is a great way to start smoothing out that connective tissue. So now she's going to do a one-arm scapular rock, reaching with the other arm. So it's the same thing, but a little bit more intense because all her weight's now on that one arm. Good, then she's going to do the other side. And often we're asked how many we should do. Do what feels good here. Excellent, take a break. This is not intense work, but if you have any adhesions going on there, this is a great feeling. It just feels nice to rock back and forth, and we want to rock until we smooth everything out and can feel everything gliding naturally. Now she's going to do a palms down version of the same rock, and you're going to find you get more range of motion with this one. She's going to grab onto a ledge here. So you want to try to find something you can hang on to so you can pull yourself forward as you rock. Chest is almost to the floor, and then you rock back gently. You're not pushing back. It's just a very gentle movement here. Good. Now she's going to get up on her hands and knees with her hands underneath her shoulders, and her fingers are splayed open. Her elbows are locked, and what she's going to do is some rotation. She's going to draw some big circles with her shoulders over her hands. Very nice. She's going to go clockwise first, feeling that activate in her shoulder blades. She's also going to feel it stretch out her wrists a little bit. So it's nice for people who are struggling with some wrist pain. We don't want to go into pain, so make sure you stay in a comfortable range of motion, and then counterclockwise. Good. And from this position now, she's going to push away from the floor and push back into the floor. Keeping her elbows locked, she's retracting the scapula and engaging. And there's some torque with this as well. We have some external rotation happening. Though her hands aren't moving, if you watch closely, you'll see her forearms turn out as she pushes away, and they turn back in as she comes back down. Turning out, turning in. So we're getting some rotational activation through those shoulder blades. I know it looks a lot like cat and cow from yoga, but we're not moving through our low back. We want to keep our low back stationary and rigid. This should all be happening in the shoulder blades here. Excellent. Thank you. Now Sung Hee's going to come and demo for us the original strength push-up. I love this for warm-ups. My clients love it. It's scalable to all ability levels. So she's going to start on hands and knees, and she's going to rock forward until her chest almost touches the floor. Then she's going to push herself back and forward and back. It's a nice gentle rock. It's a beautiful way to warm up the body for any kind of upper body work that you're going to be doing. And this is basic enough that almost anybody you deal with is going to be able to complete this. Now, if this is not advanced enough for your athletes, you can do the same movement from your toes. So your knees aren't on the floor. So tuck your toes under and lift your knees. And excellent. 2 minutes of this off the knees is enough to work out and strain any athlete. Good. So because we're all interested in strength, let's throw in a couple fun strength exercises that are compatible with shoulder health through a good functional range of motion. The first is known as the dive bomb push-up, also called the judo push-up or a Hindu push-up. And this is great because it takes your shoulders through a full range of motion under load. And there's a basic version you can do. Hands are planted, your feet are wide, bum up in the air, and you're going to drop to your elbows. Your chest comes through and up. And the easier version is just to go back, reset, skimming the ground every time, taking your shoulders through that functional range of motion. Now, if you want to make it more challenging, you're going to reverse direction, go back the way that you came. So from here, reverse, the second movement we're going to show you is the table raise, and this is used by our gymnastics coach as a diagnostic tool to assess shoulder mobility for higher level gymnastics skills. You're going to start with your hands underneath your shoulders, fingers pointing back, and feet about hip width apart, and you're going to lift up and try to get yourself completely horizontal like a table. And you can see right away that I have some limitations here in my shoulder mobility, and I really do find this quite challenging. So a lot of the original strength programming is built around crawling. That's where we developed our original strength, was crawling on the floor. That's how we learned to connect our body together and how we first developed shoulder strength. It's a great spot for people to start. And you're going to see Sung-hee doing the basic crawl here from hands and knees. And she's crawling opposite arm, opposite leg, working that contralateral sling. Good. And then more advanced is going backwards the same way. Good. Good. Now we'll do a more advanced version. It's the same idea, but now she's up on her toes. Her knees don't touch the floor. Good. And backwards. And we can do this one backwards also. So the trick is coordinating those hands and feet. Let's try that again.